Welcome to the Media Prima Arena here in Redcar at round 6 of the 2019 DTRA UK Flat Track Nationals. We focus here on the Thunderbike category, racing in support of the pro and adult intermediate classes here at the Media Prima Arena, the home of the Redcar Bears Speedway team for the rest of the season. Thunderbikes have provided some close racing at all 5 rounds held so far, and it's Dan Ridge who leads the points by 6 ahead of Tom Clemens, with John Bell further back in 3rd place in the point standings after the previous 2 rounds at Amman Valley in South Wales. A variety of bikes of differing ages will roar and crackle their way around the short 270-metre oval here on Teesside. Some great entertainment in the sunshine is certainly in prospect. We get ready then for heats number 1, the bikes pulling into line for the opening race for the Thunderbikes. 6 heats, each rider appearing in 3 of them. Number 66 there, James O'Hara, lining up on the front row. Joining him on the front of the grid will be Gareth Howes on the inside, number 131, alongside him number 13, which is Gary Inman. On the second row, 134 of Chris Jenner, 71 Scott Faulkner, 32 is Andrew Murphy, and number 21 Nick Linnell, with Barry Stevenson, number 299, alone on row 3. This is just half of the entry for the Thunderbike category today. The field's been split into 2 for each of the 3 rounds of heats today, so effectively half bike heats, creating a total of 6 races to qualify for the meeting final later on. Gary Inman, the last to settle in position in the middle of the front row. So 8 riders out there then for our opening race of the day for the Thunderbikes, waiting for the start lights to come on. Roads begin to rise, and Thunderbikes are go here at Redcar. Number 13, Gary Inman, it is who goes into the lead, chased by the number 71 of Scott Faulkner around the outside. They're almost side by side as they go into the back straight for the first time. James O'Hara getting ahead of 134 of Chris Jenner and challenging Faulkner for 2nd place, but it's Gary Inman, number 13, who has got the early lead. O'Hara into 2nd place ahead of Faulkner. Andrew Murphy's come through well in the yellow and black there from the back of the grid. A little bit of a slip there for O'Hara through turn 2, but he holds 2nd place. Jenner is in 4th, then it's Murphy, 131 of Gareth Howes in behind them. He didn't get the best of starts, he's a bit further back in the pack. This track normally used to staging speedway events. 4 riders in a race, of course, in speedway. Bigger fields here in the Thunderbikes, plus the pro and inter categories that are here on this fine sunny Saturday. 3-4 moving up on the outside there. Chris Jenner trying to take 71 of Scott Faulkner. Still your leader is Gary Inman, number 13. The first 2 have broken away slightly. James O'Hara in 2nd, Faulkner in 3rd, then Jenner, Howes and Murphy side by side with Gareth Howes there into turn 3. Barry Stevenson in the 299 from the back of the grid, next in the order. 21 in there as well, that's Nick Linnell on the white machine. Got ahead of 299 towards the closing stages now of this heat number 1. Murphy attacking the outside line in the yellow race suit there, side by side into turn 1 for 3rd. Through goes 134 of Chris Jenner up into 3rd place, and whoops, number 131 has gone straight on into the fence there. Gareth Howes hits the air fence and goes down. So we lose the number 131. Meantime, it's side by side up front, but I think Gary Inman is going to hang on. There's the checkered flag. Inman wins it. Just ahead of 66 James O'Hara. We'll confirm the results in just a moment. I think Chris Jenner got 3rd place on 134. We'll confirm the results of the points in a second. Number 13 on the Sideburn branded machine. Gary Inman takes the win. Certainly lucky 13 for him in that one. Chased home by the number 66 of James O'Hara. Bad luck to Gareth Howes there. We lost him in the closing stages. Inman the winner by 1/4 of a second over O'Hara, who was closing at flag 4. 15 points for Inman, 12 for O'Hara. Jenner 3rd ahead of Faulkner, Linnell, Murphy and Stevenson. We lost Gareth Howes on the final lap. He hit the air fence on turn 2, but he is okay. He'll take his place in his 2nd heat a little later on. The other half of the entry out on track then for heat number 2. Names to look out for in this one include the championship leader, number 28, Dan Ridge. He's on the front row for this one, starting alongside number 58 of Michael Dijkstra from Holland. Number 18, John Bell, completes the front row. 2nd row, Tom Clemens on 42, 170 of Chris Hatton, Tim Newbrook on treble 6, and 143 of James Smith round out the field. Nearly a jump start there for John Bell on the 18. A poor start by Michael Dijkstra, the Dutchman, on 58. It's a good start though by number 28, Dan Ridge, the championship leader. Bell back up the inside on the 18. He's third in the points behind Tom Clements coming into this round. All of the top championship contenders in this heat number 2, side by side between Bell and Ridge, and it's Bell who goes through into the lead at turn 1. He clips Ridge's front wheel going round turns 1 and 2 there. Michael Dijkstra trying to close in on the number 58. Turns 3 and 4 they come. Ridge holding the inside line, riding almost speedway style, and Bell goes down, and lucky to avoid him there, Michael Dijkstra. John Bell, a rare fall there for the man who's third in the championship. He is getting up and trying to keep going. So lucky there was not a collision there down the home straight. So it's number 28, Dan Ridge now with a clear lead ahead of the 42, Tom Clements, who has come through into second place on his rather vintage machine. Just holding off Michael Dijkstra there, who's also competing in the adult intermediate category here at Redcar today. Those three have broken away from the rest of the field. Dan Ridge, your clear leader. I think it's Chris Hatton, number 170. In fourth place in the white and black there, side by side for second, as Dijkstra has a look up the inside coming off turn 2, and Tom Clements again holds him off. Dijkstra quite a way down in the championship table coming into this one. He's attacking Clements for second place. They go past the yellow and black flag into the last lap. Dan Ridge is heading for victory. Who is going to be second? Will it be Clements? Will it be Dijkstra? I think Clements has just about done enough here on the 42. Around the final turn they come. Dan Ridge will take the win. Clements second. Third goes to Michael Dijkstra. Fourth place will be Chris Hatton on number 170, but it is the number 28 of Dan Ridge who takes a clear win in heats at number 2. He's certainly pleased with that one, looking to extend his championship lead here at the home of the Redcar Bears Speedway team today, the Media Prima Arena. Results of heat number 2 then. Ridge the winner by 1.5 seconds ahead of Tom Clements, with Michael Dijkstra in third. Chris Hatton fourth ahead of James Smith. John Bell remounting after his fall to finish on the lead lap in 6th place, and treble 6 of Tim Newbrook rounding out the 7 runners in that heat number 2. Heat number 3 onto track then. A slightly uneven split in the field here. The smaller half of the entry for this heat number 3. Barry Stevenson, 299, will start on pole with Scott Faulkner alongside him on the front row. Nick Linnell and Gary Inman the second row, and Chris Hatton on his own on row 3. But number 21, Nick Linnell, is having trouble getting his bike going at the moment. He's on the inner curb by the start line. If he doesn't get that going, we're going to have just 4 bikes for race number 3 for the Thunderbike category. Nick Linnell frantically trying to kick-start the 21 machine into life there. No, he's given up the struggle. Stalks away. He's out of it before the race gets underway. So just 4 bikes then for race number 3. Barry Stevenson and Scott Faulkner will lead them off. A flying start by Scott Faulkner, number 71. He goes into the lead. 13 of Gary Inman round the outside of Barry Stevenson, who's gone from first to last on the first turn, or pole to last, because Chris Hatton has come through as well, and Hatton charges for the outside of Heat 1 winner Gary Inman on the green number 13 machine. Hatton up into second place already from the back of the grid. He's going after the number 71 of Scott Faulkner, but he makes a mistake there. Locks up on turn 1 and loses second place to the number 13 of Gary Inman. Hatton back around the outside on turn 3, and his speed carries him back into second place. He's got the pace here. He needs the control though. Needs to be a little bit more controlled on the turns. Number 170 Chris Hatton, as he tries to chase down Scott Faulkner, number 71, for the lead. Yes, the gap is coming down. Here comes Chris Hatton. Inman in third. Stevenson at the back in fourth place. Now towards turns 1 and 2 they go, and Hatton goes for the outside, into where Gary Inman is as well. Inman's closing back up again. He wants a second win. It's good racing here despite the small field in heat number 3 for the Thunderbikes here at the Media Prima Arena. Still Scott Faulkner, number 71, in the leading position. 3 of them together now almost for the lead. Chris Hatton giving chase on the 170 machine. So turns 3 and 4, he's having a look on the outside, trying to switch back to the inside. Faulkner holds him off. This is going to be close between these two. I don't think Inman's quite going to catch them. He's a couple of bike lengths behind. Scott Faulkner continues to lead on bike 71, but Chris Hatton's going for a lunge around the outside on the 170. Faulkner switches back to the outside. Hatton back to the inside. He's going to snatch the win on the line. Great finish there in heat number 3. Chris Hatton, he sold Scott Faulkner a dummy there on the final turn. He moved out wide, thought he was going to go around the outside. Well, Scott Faulkner thought he was, so he moved across and left the gap on the inside for Chris Hatton to come through and take the win. A cheeky victory there for Chris Hatton. Well done to him. Certainly had the pace. Had the now to outfox Scott Faulkner, beating him by 1/10 of a second, with Gary Inman only half a second back in third, and Barry Stevenson completing the 4 finishers. Bad luck to Nick Linnell, who failed to get his bike going at the start. Heat number 4 coming up then. We'll have a bigger entry for this one, certainly. Larger half of the entry for this one, settling into position on the grid. Gareth Howes is out there looking to make up for his fall last time out. The full lineup sees Chris Jenner, number 134 on the front row, alongside 42 Tom Clemens and 143 James Smith. Gareth Howes, Michael Dijkstra and Tim Newbrook on the second row. James O'Hara, John Bell and Andrew Murphy on the third row. 9 bikes out there this time then. Ready for heat number 4 for the Thunderbikes here at Redcar. Away they go. Good start by Tom Clement, number 42, the man who's second in the championship. Michael Dijkstra cutting through the field there as well. The Flying Dutchman almost up into second place, but Chris Jenner's there on the inside. John Bell, number 18, behind them, looking to make up for his fall in his first ride, heat number 2. Charge their way around the first lap then is Tom Clemens, number 42, who has got the early lead. John Bell moving up to challenge 134 of Jenner. Third place, he goes through coming out of turn 2 as Jenner makes a slight mistake. James O'Hara, number 66 from the third row of the grid, is in behind them. Actually more of these old bikes here at this tight and tricky arena. Tom Clement is being reeled in here by Michael Dijkstra for the lead. Dijkstra looking for the outside, goes back to the inside around turn 4. Try and got the inside into turn 1. Can he get through on the inside? Yes, he can. 58. Michael Dijkstra takes up the lead. This is good riding by the Dutchman. Had bike problems in his first ride in the intermediate category today. Combined with the pros in the national championship round. Certainly coming good here. Chris Jenner holding off the number 18 of John Bell in the battle further back, the man in orange. Worse for his spill down the home straights in his first heat, where he was nearly collected by Michael Dijkstra. Chased there by James O'Hara on the 66 bike as the leaders come out on turn 2. Michael Dijkstra looking good for victory here on the 58 machine. It's the Spanish riders that have gone well in the pro category this season. Now the Dutchman doing the winning in the Thunderbikes. Michael Dijkstra takes the win in heat number 4. Rest of the riders come home. We'll confirm the results in a second. 42 in second place, Tom Clemens. For a good result today to help his championship cause. It's Michael Dijkstra who wins heat number 4 here at Redcar on this summer evening. He certainly enjoyed that one. Dijkstra the winner by nearly a second ahead of Tom Clemens. Chris Jenner 3.5 seconds back in third ahead of John Bell. Then James O'Hara holding off James Smith. Gareth Howes 7th, Andrew Murphy 8th, and Tim Newbrook completing the 9 finishers in heat number 4. So 4 heats gone then, 2 to go for the Thunderbike category. Heat number 5 coming out on the track then. Chris Hatton looking for another win, goes off from the front row alongside Nick Linnell, number 21 in this one. Going to keep his bike going this time. Second row of the grid, Barry Stevenson, James O'Hara and James Smith. In the third row, Chris Jenner, Michael Dijkstra's out in this one, and Tom Clemens. We saw them battle it out in heat number 4. Second into line then, 8 bikes out there, the heat number 5. They're away, good start by 143 of James Smith going round the outside there. They're all bunched together into the first turn. A traffic jam of motorcycles there. Who's going to come out with the lead? Looks like Chris Hatton has got the lead, and Clemens and Dijkstra from the back of the grid already going round the outside in there. It's Chris Hatton who leads. James Smith with a good start there. He's in second on the 143, and they're going to either side of him into the first turn there. Clemens and Dijkstra renewing their fight from heat number 4. It's Dijkstra up into second place from the third row of the grid. Now, can he catch Chris Hatton for the lead here? Clemens in third place. And James Smith is in fourth. The first 3 pulling away. You see the track cutting up a little on the turns. There's been plenty of water gone down the track surface to keep the dust down here today. As Dijkstra to the inside, they come on turn 4 and he goes through. Michael Dijkstra into the lead past Chris Hatton. Third place is the 42 of Clemens tucked in there as they come off turn 2. They're clear of the rest of the pack. Back before them is still James Smith as Clemens goes straight past Chris Hatton up into second place. We've lost Nick Linnell, he's pulled onto the centre green, more bike problems for him. Coming to the closing stages now of this heat number 5 for the Thunderbikes. Michael Dijkstra all set for a second win. He's clear now of Tom Clemens out in front. A little bit wide there through turn 2, he holds it together. Dijkstra on the 58s. Vintage looking motorcycle, he's on there, heading for victory. The Dutchman comes home to take the flag. Second for Clemens once again, and they're well clear of everybody else. Good stuff there from Michael Dijkstra. Will that get him a front row slot for the final later on? The 6 heats, all about getting qualifying points ahead of the big final later on, of course. So Michael Dijkstra and Tom Clemens certainly in dominant form today, along with Chris Hatton. Dijkstra the winner by 0.4 of a second ahead of Clemens, Hatton third ahead of James Smith, then Chris Jenner in 5th, James O'Hara 6th, Barry Stevenson 7th, and we lost Nick Linnell with more bike problems, or at least he got a few laps in on that occasion. Heat number 6 then, the last of the qualifiers for the Thunderbikes. Tim Newbrook on the treble 6 hasn't had the best of days today. He's on the front row alongside number 32 Andrew Murphy. Second row John Bell, number 18, and 71 Scott Faulkner. And on row 3 number 13 Gary Inman. The championship leader Dan Ridge on the 28, 131 of Gareth Howes. Which way is this one going to go then? Inman has had a win already, so has Dan Ridge. They'll start as the 2 favourites despite going from the 3rd row of the grid. They are under starters orders then. Number 6 of the Thunderbike category. Away we go. 32 Andrew Murphy in the black and yellow wasp style shirt there leads the way on the 32 into the first turn. Good start by John Bell up into 3rd place. Going for 2nd, and Scott Faulkner closes the door on him. Going for the outside here comes Dan Ridge, the championship leader on the 28s. 3 wide as they go down towards turn 1. Ridge round the outside. Side by side with Scott Faulkner. He's going to go for the lead here. Dan Ridge is keeping it on the high line. He goes into the lead. That was almost like a NASCAR move there up on the high groove, as they say in America. It's ahead of Andrew Murphy, the 32. Faulkner in 3rd. Then John Bell. Faulkner on the inside takes 2nd place coming out of turn 2. Murphy goes down to 3rd. He's down to 4th now because John Bell coming through on the 18. A big day for John Bell so far. Now going after Scott Faulkner for 2nd place. Plenty of passing in the minor positions, but Dan Ridge is out in front on the 28. Looking rapid here. Here comes Bell. Down the inside is Faulkner going to close the door on him. No, he can't move across in time. And John Bell gives him a little bump there as they go through turn 4 up into 2nd place. Letting him know he's there. Gary Inman back in the pack in 5th, our earlier winner on the 13. Subdued by his normal standards. We're in the closing stages now of Thunderbikes heat number 6, last of the qualifiers. It's looking good for number 28. Dan Ridge is heading for victory, or is he? Because number 18, John Bell, is starting to reel him in. I think he's going to run out of time, though, to catch the championship leader on the 28. Here comes Dan Ridge around turns 3 and 4. Bell is up there with him, but there is the checkered flag. John Bell runs out of time to catch him. The rest of the field come home. Confirm the results in a second, but the win goes to Dan Ridge on the 28s. And on number 18, John Bell. That should put Dan Ridge onto the front row, I would think, for the final. Along with Michael Dijkstra, Tom Clemens and Chris Hatton, they're the leading qualifiers. 0.3 of a second in it between Ridge and Bell. John Bell closing down very nicely. Scott Faulkner in 3rd, then Andrew Murphy, Gary Inman, Gareth Howes and Tim Newbrook completing the 7 finishers to the last of the 6 heats. So we'll see what that's done to the points standings after 3 rounds. Michael Dijkstra is the man on top then, ahead of Tom Clemens and Chris Hatton, with Gary Inman completing the top 4. Dan Ridge only down in 6th place after the qualifiers behind Scott Faulkner, so he's going to have to fight his way through from the 2nd row in the final. Time for the Thunderbikes final here at the Media Prima Arena, round 6 of the DTRA UK Flat Track Nationals 2019. There is number 58, one of the favourites, Michael Dijkstra, absolutely flying in 2 of his heats to take a pair of victories and secure himself First choice of gates for this final. 42 starting alongside him, Tom Clemens. Quite relaxed there on the grid. 170 of Chris Hatton. Next out on the pits, he chooses the inside gates. Completing the front rank will be number 13, Gary Inman. 71, Scott Faulkner is next. Then 28, Dan Ridge, only 6th after the qualifiers. Number 18 is there, that's John Bell on the second row. 134 of Chris Jenner completing row 2. Then number 66, James O'Hara. 43 is next, that is James Smith. Barry Stevenson and Andy Murphy completing the lineup for this one. Those who missed out, so Nick Linnell and a couple of others. Tim Newbrook didn't get in. We're ready for the meeting final then. 12 riders underway with the main events for the Thunderbikes. It's a good start by Chris Hatton on the 170, side by side with Dijkstra into the first turn. Michael Dijkstra around the outside, they're side by side into the back straight. Dijkstra moves ahead into turn 3 and Dan Ridge charges up the outside from the second row of the grid. 42, Tom Clemens holds him off though, coming out of turn 4, fishtailing a bit there. Ridge only in 4th place. He nearly collides there with, he does collide with Tom Clemens. A bit of rubbing there, rubbing's racing as they say. Tom Clemens holds on to 3rd, behind Dijkstra and Hatton, and now it's Ridge's turn to get out of shape. Newbrook mentioned one of the non-stars for this race, Nick Linnell as well, after bike problems in the heats, as Ridge nearly clips the back of Clemens again there. Not to get in was Gareth Howes at the 131 after falling in his first heats. Tom Clemens going after Chris Hatton for second place. Michael Dijkstra is away and gone in front. Dan Ridge showing the second before for the moment. Clemens goes through now. Dan Ridge won't like seeing that because Tom Clemens is the nearest man to him in the championship table. He's only a few points behind him for the lead. What can Dan Ridge do here? A few laps to go in this pretty long feature final. Further back in the order, Gary Inman didn't make the best of starts from the front row, attacking Chris Jenner on the 134. They're chasing Scott Faulkner on the blue 71 machine. His racing line there as they come on turn 4. Ridge up the inside, he takes the 170 of Chris Hatton, moves up into 3rd place, now going after his championship rival Tom Clemens. Still leading is Michael Dijkstra, but he's quite a way behind in the championship at the moment. Hasn't contested every Thunderbike round. 13 moving up on the attack again there. Gary Inman facing 134 of Chris Jenner, the all-black outfit. Look up the outside. It's 58 of Michael Dijkstra, way and gone in front. He's looking good here. Victory in our Thunderbikes here at Redcar this evening. There is the checkered flag. Michael Dijkstra takes the win. Second place, I think, goes to Dan Ridge, and we'll confirm the rest of the order in a few moments' time. The win goes to number 58, Dutchman Michael Dijkstra. It certainly was the Flying Dutchman here this evening with a hat-trick of victories. Well done indeed to number 58, Michael Dijkstra, a clear winner in the Thunderbikes final. Started from the front, was led away by Chris Hatton, but it wasn't long before he took the lead into turn 3. Congratulations to him, leading the pack home by a fairly handsome margin. We'll confirm the results then. The winner by over 3 seconds, Michael Dijkstra ahead of Tom Clemens, who did hang on to second ahead of Dan Ridge. Chris Hatton taking 4th ahead of Scott Faulkner, Chris Jenner, Gary Inman, and James O'Hara. John Bell dropping to 9th ahead of James Smith, and Andrew Murphy and Barry Stevenson rounding out the 12 finishers, all covered by 12 seconds. Dan Ridge keeps his championship lead, but having finished behind Tom Clemens, the lead is cut to 4 points, with John Bell further back in 3rd. Michael Dijkstra's win moves him up to 7th in the points above Scott Faulkner and Wesley Agius, who wasn't here tonight. A wonderful evening's racing then from the Thunderbikes here at the Media Prima Arena in Redcar.